visible?
Yeah, now it is, yes.
Okay, great. So let's talk about the Humminbird extension. So the Humminbird project, yeah, missing description. That's a good issue. So the Humminbird extension is the integration of the Humminbird project inside Podman desktop. So the Humminbird project is a way to is a project which provides zero CVE images or hardened images um, for containers. So the goal is to get more secure and more reliable images rather than using some of them, which has a lot of bloat. When you try to start a new project, when you want to use a base image, which is either for building or for production, it's pretty hard to know what's inside the image. And the Hummingbird project aim to help on that topic. So it will add a new entry. So once installed, the Humminbird extension on Podman Desktop will add a new entry. Um, the we have a catalog, so you can explore the list of all the Humminbird image available. So the most well-known container project are here. You can find curl, you can find .NET, Go, Git, and so many more. Uh, NJX, Postgres, Node.js. You usually have two versions for every Hummingbird image. You have the base image and the builder image, which usually have more things. Like for example, for the Node.js image, uh, you have a production image which only have like the minimum requirements to run a Node.js application, and you have the builder image which just differ with the tags. But the builder tag has more things inside it because usually you need more dependencies and more uh, things to build your application. So from this page, you can, for example, take one example and you can pull it. Or if you want to have more information and you want to directly access it inside the official page on the registry, you can directly navigate there. So this is great, but from here it's just a catalog. And one nice feature that has been integrated into this extension is the ability to scan your local registry. So a catalog can be just a web page, so you would not need to have it inside Podman Desktop or as an extension. But because it's running inside Podman Desktop, it can scan your local environment. And for example, it can detect if you are using images that could be hardened / replaced by a Humminbird version. So for example, here, I've got a few containers. I've got a Postgres container and NGX container uh, based on Docker IO images. And the extension is telling me, okay, those containers have alternatives, but you can also see that it scans the images in my registry, also offering me alternatives, but you cannot really replace an image, or you could just delete the older one and use a new one. But let's open, for example, some details. We're going to take the NGX one, so we can open the details. So looking a bit at here, you have some statistic and some information about the base image that you are using. So here, the Docker IO NGX versus the Humminbird one. You've got the list of CVEs detected inside the Humminbird image versus the vulnerabilities inside the Docker IO NGX image. So how does those vulnerabilities are detected / scan? For the local images, we are using an open source project called Gripe. which allow us to directly scan locally without externalizing your image, the vulnerabilities. So those information are directly scanned live on your machine. And the one from the Humminbird images are took from a database online, because you may not have the alternative locally on your system. We just fetch it online and the database is updated every day. So those information is always fresh because vulnerabilities can appear every day. Another thing with the hardened images is that because we remove a lot of things inside it, usually they are smaller. For example, this image is 89% smaller than the Docker IO one. So on bandwidth, on many things on network, it can be very helpful to have hardened images. So mentioning the existing container that I have here, we can go in containers and see that I have NGX container running. So I just started it before the call just to have something to show. It's just like the default NGX Podman run NGX command. And this is using the Docker IO images. But from the Humminbird extension, if I'm going to alternative, here I can clone the existing container and replace its base image with the Humminbird one. So here, because we may have a port config, we keep the checked enable on stop existing container. So let's just clone it. And should be good. Yeah, a new container has been created. Let's open the new container details. And yeah, I need to start it. By default, it's not gonna auto start. So let's go back into our containers list. And if we are just filtering on NGX, we can see now that we have our old NGX container, which has been stopped. And we have our new container, which has been started. And it just replaced the base image with a new one. So that's mainly it for the Humminbird extension. I can probably share the link of the repository if if some people want it. I will share it into the chat. If anyone has any question, feel free to ask. Then that's good.
Thanks, Axel. This looks great. Thank you. Can you show the new Engine X still works? And also a question about the size of the image. 90% reduction seems a lot. Maybe in some use cases there is some build stuff that needs to be included and that's not available.
I'm not sure how they do the reduction. From what I heard on the technical aspect is that usually they try to replace some libraries with small tree shaken alternative. Like instead of providing like all the library for one specific component, they're gonna remove everything that's not needed to only provide the thing that's required. So they really do like a deep dive work on everything that can be changed or removed to see that. But in theory, you should not see any difference. And I cannot open the the new one. I don't know why it does not clone the port config. So that's why I skipped it and you caught me.
Okay. Could it be integrated better in the current image tab, or it's not possible because it's an extension?
With a current extension API, it might be a little harder because let's, for example, see the Humminbird extension, the Humminbird image here. Oh, I've got many things. We have in the extension API something called a badge, but those are pretty limited. Are not really extensible, but we could, for example, try to make morphing available inside the core of Podman desktop, but it's probably going to need to be per request, and if only the Humminbird extension has a requirement on it, it would need to be very useful, I guess, to be integrated. But yeah, everything is possible.
Okay, thanks. And Brian?
Hello. Yeah, this is super cool. I had a quick question about the CVEs. I know like CVEs have like they could be based on like different severity. So when you're showing the like number difference between the containers, could you also show like the rank, or like I know it's like the CVSS like number ranking. Did you consider like showing that too? Or did I miss it?
So if we open, do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I think, yeah, there is a tooltip, but it's maybe not clear enough. But here on the vulnerabilities row, the one on the left is critical, then high, then medium, then low.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to get an overview. If you want to have like a lot of details about the extension, like really knowing which vulnerability you want is about this one. So you could go into the image filter, open this one, and inside the check, as I said, the Humminbird extension is using Gripe, and Gripe is also its own extension. And the Gripe extension is registering a image check provider. I think this is the right name, which allow us to, from the image details, to provide checks. So, for example, critical checks, high check, medium, and low, which are just mapped to the vulnerabilities that we found.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm removing everything and only showing, oh, this is low. Okay, no, because I think this is the default one. If I only want to see the high severity vulnerability for this image, I'm selecting critical, and I can see that there's 9. And you can see everything about them with some details, because from the Humminbird view, it's really just an overview. You don't really get into much depth.
Gotcha. Very cool. Thank you.
Axel, I had a question.
Yeah.
So with the Humminbird extension, you mentioned Gripe is being used. Is it possible for the users to just use the Gripe extension by itself?
Yes.
Can they install and use it? Go ahead.
The Gripe extension is also available in the catalog, so you can find it by searching Gripe, and it can be used standalone without the Humminbird, but because extensions in Podman Desktop can talk to each other, the Humminbird extension will check if Gripe is installed. If it's installed, it will ask the Gripe extension, to scan images to be able to display metrics and information to let the user do a wise choice about switching or not the images.
Sounds good. Thank you. Any other questions for Rom had a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Currently, it will install the latest version of Gripe, but that's probably something that we could see. Let me just verify, because this is a long time since I work on Gripe. So let me Yeah, okay. Let me share my screen again. Okay. So by default, if you go to settings, CLI tools, if you just installed the Gripe extension, Gripe will not be installed. You will see no version detected. If you click on install, it will display like the 10 last version that exists upstream, and you will be able to select from it. But it's pretty limited because we were a bit in a rush when we did the extension. But we could imagine that just like the Podman extension, you could point to your own grip CLI and use that. But currently it's not supported, but we could open an issue and work on that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other final questions for Axel before we move on to the next topic? I think we're good. Thank you so much, Axel. Appreciate your time.
No problem. Thanks, everyone.